do it. Time to do some DVD. Excuse me. Okay, we're out here. Freeze bomb. I got frozen. Freddy got frozen. Alright. Oh, somebody up there. Hell. Where are you going? How are you doing? Donkey Kong? Whatever kind of name that is, but yeah, let's go with him. We're gonna go with him. We're taking him over here Mr. Dankweed. Danky Dank. Okay, he's going over to the hook. We got him. It's taking me over here, but this one's not running yet. Two boys hooked. And there's two people running around. They're still hooked. Oh, here they come. This guy's just asking for it. I don't know what's going on here. Take you back. Guy got unhooked too. Oh no, he didn't. He's still on it. Oh, I think he went. Yeah, he's just, yes, he did. Yes. Hey, Dad. Uh-oh. No, they went no longer. Yeah, hey, there's a basement.
Hi, Fru.
Yo, 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 look, I'm hooking him in the basement. I'm playing Freddy here. I only got one sacrifice and 3 people left. I got one hook in the basement. It's going tonight. Somebody's up here, I can hear him.
Text me later about Kim's crypt.
Okay. Damn it, get over here. Uh-oh. That slowed him down a bit. Been chasing this guy and chasing this guy since I started here, and hooking him. Oh, he's a goner now. That was his last hook. Hell yeah. 2. Now I gotta see where those other 2 are at. Where the hell are they?
All this wind's going to dry it out too.
Where are these last two people? Can't find them. They're just walking around. Doody doody doo. Had their generators yet. There's nothing going on, no noise. These people must have went MIA or something. Now this game's gonna go MIA down the toilet. Well, they're definitely not up here. I don't know what the hell's going on here. But I can't find the last two people. They got 3 generators yet. Nothing's going on. They're not working on anything. There's absolutely no noise going on. Every time I teleport, it takes me right back here. Well, there's nothing going on. I got 3 generators yet. I might as well finish what I was doing. This game, if I end up leaving it, because these idiots, it'll go against me, and I don't want that to happen. The hell is that noise? There you fucking are. You're hiding down here, you fucking bastards. Whole damn time. There, take one for the team. Now where did the other asshole go? All that time running around, and they're hiding down in that freaking basement. Oh, you won't be able to get down there because I just closed it. Okay. And that guy ran somewhere. Who knows where he went? The whole time they're hiding in the basement. In that basement. I don't know what told me to get down there, but something pointed me towards it, so I went. And they were both down there. Alright, let's see. Anybody over here? I'm gonna find this last dude now. Oh, he stepped in it. He's over here. I put them traps all over the damn place. They disappear after a bit, but you just gotta keep resetting them. There he is, the asshole that was hiding in the basement like a puss the whole time. Instead of coming to face me, they'd rather hide. Here, you want to, I can't open it, never mind. It's like, oh, I'll open it. I went the other side, went the other way the other gate is. By the time I get there, timer might run out. No, he's still over here. He was probably hiding in the basement. Got him. Nice. Good one. Freddy just got every single one. I got his Adept Nightmare trophy finally. Hell yeah. Now I can put the other perk back on. Awesome. I gotta kill him another time though. Oh, what's up? What's that for?
For them, towards the modem.
Oh yeah, that was $70. That cost me $70. But it works perfect on. I downloaded a game yesterday within like 5 minutes, Mom, and I noticed the difference right away. That is a really good one. Much better than that one we had. But I still have the other one. I keep it as a backup in case something were to happen. But yeah, that one definitely works. In case it gets struck by lightning or something weird happens or whatever. But that one does.
Same with Randy's going to the beach.
Perfect. Okay. Is Panther around? Panther, is he around? Oh, yeah. Put this perk on now.
How's little Pan Pan?
That's Pan, John.
Well, I haven't seen him yet. I was asking you, where is Panther?
Well, we don't know.
Panther!
He's hiding out somewhere.
He comes in here once in a while and he'll go, meh. He'll start talking to me. It's cute.
He's hiding.
Panther.
Pan.
I'm gonna take that one.
The other day he was in my closet.
He goes in mine too. He dumped. Oh, he's still got trash on the floor. I never did pick that rest of that up yet. He dumped my trash can last night.
I'll take it.
You know, it's pretty full when I got stuff on the floor there yet.
Yeah. Do you want me to get it? Or?
Here, no, I can get it. Here. See?
Oh my God, look at that.
He dumped it all.
Oh, they go in the recycle. That's
Yeah, but I'll help you here.
Pan dumped Jen's trash everywhere.
Everywhere. Everywhere he dumped it.
Trash all over.
Whoops. Whoops. Okay, I got it. I'll be right back. Dump my trash all over the damn floor.
Yeah, she should have all the time in the world.
Yeah.
She could pick stuff up for Barry and drop it off for him.
Yeah.
He'll even probably give her money for doing it.
Yeah, I'm sure he would.
Yeah, and you know what? She'll take it too.
Yeah.
Very good. Death Slingers, healer, and real one that hit him. Ooh. Okay. What? Oh. I don't think I have another kill here. Nope. Let's see. Who's got it?
There's a great acoustic guitarist indeed, Leo Kottke. From Athens, Georgia, grew up in Muskogee, Oklahoma, from his 1971 album Mudlark, and his version of the traditional Cripple Creek. Before that, another great instrumental, the Allman Brothers, a tune written by the late Dickie Betts called In Memory of Elizabeth Reed. It was on the Idlewild South album from 1970. Bee Gees did their number one hit, Jive Talkin', from the Main Course album, 1975. And British singer and rocker Cliff Richard is 84 years old today. We heard one of his U.S. top 10 hits, We Don't Talk Anymore, from 1979 here on XPN. Greetings, adventure seeker. It's Eric Schumann inviting you to join me for the Indie Rock Hit Parade here on XPN. It's a showcase of the wide world of independent music, new and less new, with one-of-a-kind in-studio performances, spotlights on new releases, and deep dives into iconic indie albums and artists. The Indie Rock Hit Parade comes your way each and every Tuesday night starting at 10 o'clock right here on XPN. All right, Kathy is up next with Kids Corner, and then Mike Basilikos has 2 hours of new music on the Monday 8 o'clock news. I'm Dan Reed. I'll be back tomorrow at 4 o'clock. I'll leave you with this one from the First Pretenders album called Lovers of Today. Here on Highs in the 70s, XPN.
I tried to talk to my baby. I said no, baby, please don't cry. No, baby, please.
I had my bottom spear and reel and hit them by 5 times.
Start to sing every time baby's dream. All the birds start to sing. I said dream, 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 baby, all night long. Dream, dream all the night.
Okay, now we're about on with this boy.
All of the stars in the sky twinkle a bit, baby, side. All of the stars in the sky.
This is 88.5 WXPN HD1 Philadelphia, 88.7 WXPH HD1 Middletown, 91.9 WXPJ HD1 Hackettstown, 90.5 WKHS Wharton, and streaming at xpn.org. Member-supported radio from the University of Pennsylvania. Members make the music and everything else happen on XPN.
XPN member Susan in Ann Arbor said, I've lived all over the country and XPN remains my favorite radio station. I'm happy to support this fantastic community.
Members are our largest and most reliable source of funding. Become a member today at xpn.org.
Tomorrow I'll make another video. It's Tuesday. Tomorrow.
It's Kids Corner. I'm Kathy O'Connell, and whether you celebrate Columbus Day, Indigenous Peoples Day, or both, today is kind of all about how did all of us get here in this place we now call home. Now, there were a whole lot of people who were here before my ancestors who came over from Europe. That's where my ancestors came from. And this day, Columbus Day, well, it honors the fact that the European colonization of the Americas started. with Columbus getting over here. That, you know, was, well, it's one of the reasons my ancestors from Ireland wound up over here eventually. A lot of your ancestors from somewhere in Europe also wound up over here eventually. And Columbus, this Italian sailor who was sailing for Spain, well, he started the whole shebang. He landed in the Bahamas on this date. Well, not this date. It's October 12th, actually, the real Columbus Day. But this is now the holiday. Landed on October 12th, 1492. And that started a whole lot of good and bad history. And there were people who were already here, the indigenous people that we also celebrate, because this was already their home. And you are going to hear later on from Trinity Norwood. She's the project advisor from the Nanticoke Lenape tribal nation. And she's going to talk about the Lenni Lenape who already were in this part of the Americas. But now, we're all here. All of our ancestors got here somehow. And, well, it's worth thinking about how everybody got here, but it's mostly, well, now that we're here, what are we going to do? So tonight on Kids Corner, we are celebrating how we got here. And Sally Rogers is going to put it in some perspective. 1492 on Kids Corner.
In 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. It was a courageous thing to do, but someone was already here.
She always plays the best music. Celebrating Columbus Day. They make note of all the holidays and things like that. Oh, I got one more. I got my challenge done. I'm happy about that. Uh-oh.
They look, they don't see. They hear without listening. They miss the beat. And I don't wanna be the one to miss out. The one that's looking at the world around, at the world around. I'm gonna make a map of my neighborhood. I'm gonna draw it in the house and spin the trees. Document every
this dude's hiding.
I wanna see Antarctica. I wanna see the house where my dad grew up. I wanna see everything, everything. Explorer of the world I am. Explorer of the world I am. Explorer of the world I am. Explorer of the world I am.
You could be at the other side, which he probably is.
There once was a man, his name was Magellan, a Portuguese skipper. The girls found him cute. He sailed with 5 ships to find the East Indies, then come back to Spain with a bounty of loot. Whoopie-tie-yi-yo, oh happy Magellan, starting your journey with hardly a pair. Whoopie-tie-yi-yo, strong brave Magellan, you'll find the East Indies, you just don't know where. They crossed the Atlantic and spotted a country. Magellan said,
It's the East Indies at last!
but then someone shouted,
Hey, that's Argentina!
Magellan got cranky and chopped down the mast. Whoopie-tie-yi-yo, settle down, Magellan. Put down that axe, there's no time to despair. Whoopie-tie-yi-yo, keep trying, Magellan. You'll find the East Indies, you just don't know where. A great storm arose in the mighty Pacific. The 5 little ships were diminished to 3. At last
My
land was
kill
sighted,
got
Magellan
wasted.
was happy.
Oh
But
well.
then someone shouted,
Hey, that's Chile!
Whoopie-tie-yi-yo, cheer up, Magellan.
I'm gonna get Michael in here. Let's go.
Whoopie-tie-yi-yo, keep trying, Magellan. You'll find the East Indies, you just don't know where. It took them 5 months, but they crossed the Pacific. They spotted a land that was dotted with palms. Magellan proclaimed,
Yes, that's the East Indies!
but then someone shouted,
Hey, I think that's Guam!
ay, 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 oops, Magellan, your fun little journey's become a nightmare. Whoopie-tie-yi-yo, keep trying, Magellan. You'll find the East Indies, you just don't know where. They sailed due west to the Philippine Islands. Magellan was pleased as the natives drew near. But then someone shouted,
I think they're attacking!
Magellan said, and got hit by a spear. Whoopie-tie-yi-yo, farewell, Magellan. You almost made it, it's really not fair. Whoopie-tie-yi-yo, oh ghost of Magellan. The East Indies Islands were right over there.
Your smartphone without the XPN app is like a login without a password, a
Mm-hmm.
pen without paper, Marvin without Tammy.
Naked. Basically, you gotta have it on your
The
phone.
XPN app. Listen anytime, anywhere
Gotta
on
have
your
it.
device. Plus playlists, the concert calendar, and much more. Visit your app store and download the XPN app on your smartphone today.
Here at Kids Corner, we are celebrating Indigenous Peoples Day and we are celebrating Columbus Day because they both represent how we got to this space that we share together, our home. And Columbus Day was not always a holiday. Columbus Day started becoming a holiday in the 1930s during Franklin Roosevelt's administration. And it was a way to honor all the people, all the immigrants who had come from somewhere else, particularly Italian immigrants, by honoring, Columbus, who was Italian, who was Genoese. And Indigenous Peoples Day first started like around 1977. people were talking before that there were a whole lot of first people or indigenous people already in the Americas. We were aware of it, but around the 1970s, people got, a little more aware of it and talked about both days and both ways to honor people. And our buddy Fuge came up with a terrific song. You're going to hear in a moment, and after that, you're going to hear from Trinity Norwood about the history of First People, Native people in this area. Right now, though, it's Fuge explaining Indigenous Peoples Day.
Ooh, there's a basement.
First off, let's define indigenous. The native people, original inhabitants, living on every single continent. Somebody shows up and says, I discovered it. How can you discover somewhere already found? Or take credit for a place that's already around, like Hernan Cortez or Hernando de Soto, Ponce de Leon or Francisco Pizarro? It all started with Christopher Columbus, Europe's obsession with Western discovery. With big dreams, as wild and Italian was searching for gold in the East Indies Islands. Long ago, 1492, we all know the story, he sailed the ocean blue. But here's what I didn't learn in school. After landing in the Bahamas, he treated people cruel. The Taínos are peaceful people, and Cuba hated y'all, Jamaica, Puerto Rico. Even though they welcomed him with open arms, he committed genocide and unspeakable evil. I wish that's where the story ends, but colonization is a sickness that spreads. Speaking of sickness, literal diseases, smallpox, chickenpox, and the measles. I wonder how history would change if explorers were peaceful when they came, learned native customs, cultural exchange, didn't force religion and no one was enslaved. Aztecs, Incas might have lived longer from South America to Canadian borders. Cherokee, Sioux, Apache, and Navajo, Iroquois, Chippewa, Choctaw, Pueblo. Indigenous ones from ancestors to those still alive. Say one earth, one people, one love. People of the earth, one earth, one people, one love. Time to stand together. One earth, one people, one love. One earth, one people, one love. One earth, one people, one love. One people, one earth, one people, one love. Time to right these wrongs. One earth, one people, one love. 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 All people, all people. When I get back home, I'll have a story to tell. When I get back home, you won't be all by yourself. When I get back home, goodbye, farewell, till I get back home. Do-do-do-do-do, yeah. When I get back home, I'll have a story to tell. When I get back home, I'll be all by myself. When I get back home, goodbye, farewell, till I get back home. bus is coming real soon, then I gotta go. This summer passed too fast. It's impossible to make time last today. I wish I could stop it though. Cause just between us, I think I'd rather stay. Cause the first day of school, well that's today. And my classmates are strangers I haven't met. I wonder if they're like me and if they have a pet. I wonder if they're like me. I can't imagine yet. I hope so and say yes if I had to guess. But you never know, some people act mean. Sometimes they gang up on you like a tag team. I guess that's why you growl at strangers sometimes. It's hard to tell if they're cool or they're unkind. Man, I hope real soon this day is over with. For now I'll throw this stick that you can go and get. I'm hoping that the bus will pass by us, or get flat tires, or the engine has bad wires, and it won't start. That would be a miracle. I'd stay here with you and eat some more cereal. But now I think I see the bus and I hear it too. Is my hair cold? Do these clothes look weird to you? Anyway, you'll be okay alone, and I'll see you when I get back home.
Oof.
Boy, I'm back and it was so cool. This place is so much better than my old school. In gym, we got a parachute and a whole pool. In science class, we learned all about toadstools. I met some kids and nobody made fun of me. They like robots as much as me, also submarines. In class, we asked and got our chairs changed so we can share games and make paper airplanes. On the bus, we try to save a spot near the back where it shakes a lot. Hey, you want to take a walk? And there's this one kid that watches karate movies and learns moves to keep away girls to guide cooties. He talked to me and he told me a secret about what's in the school lunch, but I don't believe it. What's this? Go get your ball. I'm telling you, my old school, I really don't miss it at all. Good boy, bring it here. Now drop it, boy. Tomorrow is show and telling, so I got a choice. Do I bring in my robotic toys or my parrot that records your voice and makes a lot of noise? My friends are so cool, I can't wait to play together. It's the best day ever, nothing could make it better. I guess I should let mom and dad know, but I'll tell them when we get back home.
Don't worry, I'll fix you.
Be sure to visit the new Kids Corner website, where you can listen and watch as our regular guests explore science, art, and more. Plus, you can enjoy Kids Corner 24/7, our new music channel, available anytime, day or night. It's all at kidscorner.org. Joining me in the Kids Corner studio is Trinity Norwood. Welcome. Great to have you here.
I'm excited to be
Now,
here.
I encountered you in a very interesting TV show I saw on public television called The King's Highway, which is basically the history of Northeast Philly. Well, let's talk about your personal history and your ancestors who go back even further than Philadelphia, don't they?
Absolutely. My tribal community, I'm a citizen of the Nanticoke-Guanalanafe Indians. Our nation is centered in New Jersey, but our traditional lands are all over the tri-state area.
And when you say all over the tri-state area, like how much of the area we know now, where we live, Delaware Valley, how much was your nation?
Our tribal lands span from New Jersey, Delaware, Pennsylvania, and even New York. we're all a part of our traditional lands where my ancestors lived and ate and traveled. We still have nations in Delaware. There's 2 sister nations in Delaware, and then our tribal community in New Jersey. And we do our best to kind of keep our voice heard all over the area, as well as in Pennsylvania and in New York.
Why is it important to keep your voice heard?
Because if our voices aren't heard, our history is lost. And that has multiple meanings for Lenape people, and I would say for Native people in general. Traditionally, Native communities did not write things down. We would talk things through oral tradition. So our ceremonies and our traditions were spoken through stories and through songs and things of that nature. And so if we don't speak to each other as a community, we lose our culture. And if we don't speak up for our community, unfortunately, we're left by the wayside. As many people assume that we have already been. You know, I walk into people all the time and they say, oh, I didn't even know there were still Indians in New Jersey. I didn't know there were still Indians on the East Coast. I encounter people who think that all Indians live in Oklahoma and on reservations, and I'm not supposed to leave my reservation. I've gotten that before.
Are you serious?
Yeah, you know, the lack of information, unfortunately, is not there as I feel like it should be. So it's pretty crazy, some of the questions I get sometimes.
Well, tell me about the history of the Lenape people. It was a matriarchal society. The women ran things.
And it was so much simpler. It was so much simpler.
This person keeps doing the same thing.
We are one of the oldest tribal nations.
They know.
Lenape actually translates to the ancient ones or grandfather. So it's funny, and I'm a 28-year-old woman, but when I go to other tribal events, people recognize me and call me a grandfather. So it is very special, and we have a very deep and rich history, particularly, of course, here in the Philadelphia area.
Now, the thing about being the grandfather, is that because you were a particularly old tribe, or were the original ones here?
Yes, we are one of the oldest tribal communities, and a lot of other tribes have come out of us.
Oh.
Yes, so you will find interrelated tribes all over the East Coast. My father is one of our tribal councilmen and is a history buff in general, but also particularly on our people, and he's able to find and track how the Lenape people have lived with and integrated through, and other tribal communities have come out of the Lenape Nation. And, you know, it comes from traditional understanding that we didn't have boundaries, you know. So, you know, we live in a world today that inside the United States there are smaller states, and when I leave New Jersey and I come to Philadelphia, I see a sign that says, you know, welcome to Pennsylvania, welcome to Philadelphia.
You have to pay to get here,
exactly,
frankly.
yes. And those tolls keep going up. But traditionally, owning land was not a concept that we understood. So for tribal communities to move in and out of each other was not irregular. So, you know, I can go up to visit people in the Pequot Nation, and I will find people who have Lenape ancestry, and sometimes I run into other Native people and find that we have mixed history, you know. So it is a blessing and an honor to me to be a part of such an ancient tribal community that links me to other Native people.
It really is linking you in the now, in reality, yes, but also linking you with such a rich tradition. Let's talk about how communities were set up.
Before colonists came to this area, we had 3 main tribal bands that would move in and out through our area and work with each other and, you know, do ceremonies with each other and things of that nature. It was the Turtle Clan, the Turkey Clan, and the Wolf Clan. And as colonists came, and this is history that is common for most tribal nations on the East Coast, you know, as colonists came to the Americas, a lot of tribes that had, spanned out and were taking up lots of space started to come closer and closer together. That's actually how my tribal nation has its name today. It's two parts, the Nanticoke-Lenape Nation. The Nanticoke people, or the Tidewater people, a lot of people recognize them as the Delaware Indians, were a nation that, according to our traditions, were part of the Lenape Nation and probably stayed in the southern Delaware area just for better fishing. Just didn't feel like coming back up north.
You stay where the food is.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's a band of the Lenape Nation, and as colonists came, we started to come back together, and that's how you have our tribal name today. So, I have cousins and other tribal community members who have maybe a little bit more Nanticoke ancestry than Lenape, or vice versa. And that is common for a lot of tribes here on the East Coast. Mm-hmm.
Well, let's talk more about the way the communities were set up. That one of the visions that I remember from the movie The King's Highway, again, it's a wonderful movie, but mostly because it introduced me to Trinity Norwood, let me just say. But it seemed that there were these structures that seemed to be kind of in almost a circle.
Yes. We would barricade our communities. The physical makeup of our grounds was strategic. That's the word I like to use. They were very strategic. We lived in long houses. Everyone lives under that stereotype. Indians live in teepees, but traditionally, for the Lenape people most certainly, and for most Native people on the East Coast, we lived in long houses and wigwams. So wigwams are kind of like a small dome-shaped structure, and those were what I like to call our RVs. They're small, they were quick to put together, and they were quick to break down. So when the Lenape people were traveling, whether it was for weather or for hunting or fishing, it was easy to set up a wigwam and break it down and not affect the ground where you were. When warriors would travel for battle, they would also often set up, small communities for them to come back to, and they would use wigwams. Longhouses are huge structures. They estimate they have found remnants of longhouses that were about 30 feet long, and they housed multiple families. So my family would be here, and then my aunts and my uncles, and all the way down.
Compound.
Exactly. It was a native condo.
I have always wanted to live like that. Oh, like the Kennedy compound. All my friends and family,
Yes.
we're all together. I kind of love that idea. Now, how far back are we talking? And how many years back?
Oh, to living traditionally, I would say probably about 100 years.
Uh-huh.
I'd say probably about 100 years.
And before that, how far back?
Oh, our nation, so we estimate about 500 years. About 500 years. Our nation has been around and right here in this area for a very long time, and we lived traditionally as long as we possibly could. And at some point, blending in was the only way we could survive. And unfortunately, that is the common story for many nations, and one of the negative aspects of that is that when you blend in, you tend to lose things because you're no longer practicing those things. The Indian School Council, their motto was, "Kill the Indian, save the child." And they systematically were able to achieve that because we were not allowed to speak our language. We were not allowed to practice our traditions. So if you are forcing me to blend in, I lose those aspects of my culture and the things that make me me. Now, today we do still practice those things, but we continue to suffer because we know there are things that have been lost. I am happy to say that we have like a summer camp for our young people, and they're able to make a wigwam every year. So, we have efforts to regain those things, but today there's no one living that traditionally on a daily basis, but we do practice those traditions regularly.
It's interesting. One of my favorite places in all the world is Hawaii. And what you are describing, though, is a story that you hear over and over again from indigenous people in Hawaii.
Yes.
Is how our ancestors were forced to assimilate. We were forced to give up our customs and our language.
Yeah, you have to assimilate to survive. And it's unfortunate that you have to lose a part of you to survive. The Lenape Nation was split. We were forced out of our traditional lands here in the Philadelphia area and sent to Oklahoma. There's currently a Lenape reservation, the Lenape Nation of Oklahoma.
Okay, but so here, Penn's Woods, covered in greenery and forest and years of your people, living off the land, fishing and agriculture.
Yes.
And all. And then you're forced to go to Oklahoma. Your ancestors forced to go to Oklahoma. And it's, maybe I'm wrong about my vision of Oklahoma, but I seem to remember a lot of dry, dusty, vast expanse of land with nothing on it.
That is actually a very good description. And then unfortunately, that was purposeful. If you displace them from what they know and how they are able to survive, you are yet again systematically killing off these people because they don't know how to survive here on the plains. And that is the reality. Many tribes died off because they couldn't learn how to make that adjustment. We were purposefully separated from other tribal communities so that you couldn't reach out to someone on the Lakota reservation whose family had been living in that kind of environment for hundreds of years for help. You were going to have to learn or you were going to die. And unfortunately, for many nations, the reality was death.
And it was otherwise learning the colonists' way, the new way of life. You have dual citizenship?
Yes. As a sovereign tribal nation, we are like a little country inside the United States. So I have a tribal card, which is my native social security card. And then I also have all of my information and I pay my taxes to the U.S. government, that's something I get regularly too. Oh, you don't pay taxes, you go to school for free. I said, no, I have my student loans, I pay my taxes every year with a smile.
When you say dual citizenship, it's all the responsibilities of citizenship. Oh, absolutely. So do you feel a little odd when you pay those taxes? Because you're kind of paying those taxes to an entity that took so much from your people?
I would not say that I feel odd. I would say that I feel that it's pain. I don't feel odd because I go to sleep at night with the belief that my taxes are helping my fellow citizens. And I will always help my fellow citizens in any way that I can.
Taxes are the price we pay to live in a civilized society.
Yes, and I have no problem with that. But I do have a regular underlying sense of pain or discomfort because of things like that. I watch things and see how systems have been set up and are still used today that were used to ruin my ancestors. And so, it's tough.
Somebody.
But I pay my taxes with a smile on my face because I know that so many of those monies are going to help young people and my elders, and anybody who needs help can get it from me.
I just used the phrase a little while ago, civilized society, and one of the things I think was also done to your people is this assumption that you did not have a civilization before the European colonists came here.
Yes, and that is a stereotype that was perpetuated for a long time, even when my older brother was in high school. I guess he was in middle school when this happened. And my older brother's 32 years old, so it's not that long ago.
Not long at all.
But he had a history book that said that, you know, Native people did not have structure or anything like that. You know, we've had a government structure for years. We were a matriarchal society. The women owned the homes, and the men could not go to war without the women's approval. So there was a lot less fighting. We have a tribal council. We have a council of elders. Our current tribal structure actually is very similar to the way that our federal government in the United States is set up. We have a tribal chairman, we have a tribal council, we have a council of judges, and a council of elders. Decisions are done through law. We have a constitution. We vote on laws. We vote to get our councilmen elected. We are a part of the National Congress of the American Indian. It is the largest and one of the oldest pro-government associations for Native people all over the world. I met Aboriginals from Australia who came to be a part. So we were an organized people. We were a intelligent people.
Oh, I'm trying to take that hook down.
Things didn't happen because of happenstance, you know. Our farming was strategic. We farmed with the Three Sisters.
Let's talk about the Three Sisters.
Oh, righty. So we farmed with the Three Sisters, and that's corn, beans, and squash. These were our main crops. And we still farm with those and eat those today. The corn stalk, you know, grows really tall, which would allow the vines of beans to wrap around, and then the squash would be in the ground around the corn stalk, which also irrigate and help the corn stalk grow. So it also made farming in a very small
running into the trap.
Thusly making sure that our footprint and effect on the earth around us was not great.
Which we think of as a very modern concept.
Ran into that one.
Yes, not leaving your carbon footprint, you know, behind, but it's not a modern concept.
Yeah, it's something that was practiced here before the Europeans came, and it's something that we still practice down in our tribal towns.
Having a problem here trying to get this guy.
The website, mention the where people can find you online, because there is such richness of information at your website if people want to find you.
Absolutely. The website is nanticoke-lenape.info. So it has plenty of references and information on the Lenape people history, as well as what is going on in our tribal community today.
And there are many things going on, and there is an ebook by your father that you can find on that website and download on that website as well. And I love the title, We Are Still Here.
Because that's so important, and people forget that. You know, we are still here. I get people who say that they didn't know that there were Indians still in this area, and then I also get people who think that there are Indians here, but we are all running around speaking broken English and living in the woods. And I enjoy the book not just because he's my daddy, but also because it gives that perspective that we're here. I'm not a portrait in a museum, still standing still. I go to work every day. I drive a car. I have a condo, you know.
You don't have a buffalo somewhere.
Yes, you know. I don't ride a horse to work every day, you know.
I have to ask about the cliches that we have in our minds about Native Americans and the role that Hollywood has played in kind of shaping the way that society thinks about Native Americans.
Yeah, unfortunately, movies have done great damage to educating and dispelling stereotypes which have been misleading from film. You know, the traditional old-fashioned westerns, the majority of the actors playing Indians are actually Italians. And, you know, the broken English and the mixture of cultures, you know. I always like to think of Native America as a salad bowl. You know, we are all linked together because we are Native people, But my Lenape culture is not the same as Lakota woman's culture. It's not the same as a Cherokee person's culture. And you know, movies mix traditions from different tribes together and cause confusion and now, you know, I will say that the more modern movies do a better job of representing the Native community. But my two biggest issues is that there are plenty of Native actors, and they're still casting people from other races to play Native people, and that even in modern movies, Native people are always in the past, which perpetuates that stereotype that either Native people are still living in the woods or that we're not here anymore.
Once in a great while, a movie like Smoke Signals will come out.
Yes.
But it's only once in a great while, and the fact is I can only name one.
And I was going to say, and that's the one I always go back to when somebody says, oh, like, what's a modern Native movie? I go back to Smoke Signals, but that came out in the 90s now. You know, this is 20 years ago this movie came out. And, you know, and it didn't get a lot of publicity, unfortunately. So people don't even know to go to it and look for it as a reference.
People had to discover it on cable, and it doesn't show up a whole lot anymore. So really find the movie Smoke Signals. Trust us on this one.
Yes, that's a really good one.
Informative and a really good movie.
Yes, it's a good laugh. I enjoyed that movie. And there was a Netflix show, Red Road, that came out, and my father found it, and he was in love with it. It is a good depiction of Native people as well, but you know, Smoke Signals and Red Road, those examples are unfortunately so few far in between. And you know, the depiction that they give of Native people in film is unrealistic oftentimes, you know. It still washes and makes light of what happened to Native people. And in movies, nothing happened to Native people until the colonies were here. That's when Native history started. But we were here for hundreds of years before that. You know, you don't get a story about just Native people being Native people before the colonies got here. And there's so many stories to tell. There's so many important people in Native history that haven't had their stories told that I think that people would be interested in if it got the media attention it deserves.
Tell me about someone.
Well, the first one that comes to mind for me is Jim Thorpe. He's one of my favorites. I think his story is just amazing. And actually, I know that there were talks about a film, but I haven't heard anything yet.
Well, there's an old film.
There is an old film.
With Burt Lancaster as Jim Thorpe, and very heroic, very stoic gentleman. But it's old.
Yeah, and there was last year, I love them, so I always try to, check my review website.
Like you.
And so, I heard some whispers about them coming out with the new Jim Thorpe film and really sticking to the things that happened in his life, the tragedies that happened in his life.
Well, and also think about it. I will bet you that if you walk up to most people and say, do you know who Babe Ruth was? They're going to know who Babe Ruth was. You walk up to people and say, do you know who Jim Thorpe was? Maybe not so easy. And he was the greatest male athlete of all time.
That's a lot.
I mean, he did things that people today, even with our advances in science and in physical therapy and how scientific sport has become, that people are not achieving. He was an amazing man. I think he was an amazing Native man, and he is particular to this area because he went to Carlisle Indian School. And if you say Pop Warner, everybody knows Pop Warner. Well, Pop Warner was Jim Thorpe's coach. So you get all of these names surrounding Jim Thorpe, but he's kind of in this dark gray area that nobody really talks about. And realistically, he was the reason that Pop Warner became this household name. He went to the Olympics and received medals, and then they were taken from him because of who he is. You know, his story is so dynamic. And I think that it is, even though it is he's a person from a long time ago, the struggle that he went through because of him being a Native person is something that Native people today still go through.
Maybe one of the things that comes out of our chat today will be that people will start doing more research and finding out about more of these people from history.
I certainly do hope so. I think that one of the things that inspire me to share who I am and educate people is because I believe that if people knew, they would be interested.
Oh,
Trinity, I want to talk a little bit about artifacts. When you visit schools, when you visit community groups, do you bring Native artifacts, and are there places where people can see them?
We do not currently have a tribal museum. It is in the works. We are fundraising completely on our own, so it's a little bit of a process. But I always suggest visiting the Smithsonian. I think it is a wonderful museum. There's also a Native History Museum in New York that I really enjoy going to as well. And hopefully, within the next year or two, I'll be able to say that we have the Lenape Museum in New Jersey. But right now, it is still in process. When I get to go to schools and things like that, I do bring things that I've stolen from my parents' house for the day. I bring things that kids are able to touch and feel, some traditional crafts and things of that nature. So that I attempt to share my culture using all senses. So, I have bowls and pine needle baskets, and I bring the three sisters with me and things of that nature.
Do your parents know you're taking stuff out of the house?
Oh yeah, they've caught on to me now. I used to just grab it and then I put it back and they'd be like, oh, that looks like it's been moved. But now they're like, oh, I see what you're doing.
Yes, indeed. And has everything been found under the ground here, in our area? I know a lot of things were found when there was a big Girard Avenue project, the big 95 project. And a lot of kind of things were discovered by archaeologists. Has everything been found?
Oh, absolutely not. I am very sure that we probably won't reach a point where everything has been found. But, I will say that in modern times, when things have been unearthed, most of the, whether it's the township or, a group, they have been very cooperative in getting those things to us. Unfortunately, in our history, there have been times where people said, no, we couldn't have, and that's something that's very sensitive for Native people. I would say, honestly, I'd say Native people all over the world, there was a point in time where owning Native bones was fashionable. And so there is a very large movement to repatriate Native remains back to their tribal grounds and to their lands, and not just things that were bought and sold, even for young people who died in Indian boarding schools. We're not too far from Carlisle Indian School, and their Carlisle Indian Project.
Fella's got a shred on the oak there.
Ladies who are
one more person. Oh man, I'm doing it hot tonight.
Getting these children back to
it's going really good. I don't know what the hell is going on, but this is my last round. I'm hungry. After hunting all these people and doing all this killing, I'm getting hungry. It's time to eat.
I have been to Carlisle, and it is a very unexplainable feeling to walk past tombstones of children and they don't have names on them. So for Native people to have those things is very important, have those things, and to have those things where they're supposed to be, having our artifacts here in New Jersey and on our tribal lands, where they were probably used at one point in time is very
50,
special.
wow.
Where can we
Damn.
find you online again?
Absolutely. You can always go to nanticoke-lenape.info. It has tons of information. You can download an ebook about the Lenape people, as well as contact me.
Trinity Norwood, thank you so much for being here today.
This was wonderful.
This
Thank
really
you.
was. Thanks a lot.
I was sitting down to eat, just about to begin. There was a knock on the door and said, "Can I come in?" I opened up the door, and what did I see? It was a great big elephant looking at me. I said, "Oh no, what you gonna do? You got a number one, you got a number two. I got enough for me, yes, that's true. If I got enough for me, I guess I got enough for you. Come on in. Thank you. We were sitting down to eat, just about to begin. There was a knock on the door, said, "Could I come in?" Opened up the door. What did I see? It was a great big bear that was looking. I said, "Oh no, what you gonna do? You got enough for one, you got enough for two. I got enough for me, yes, that's true. If I got enough for me, I guess I got enough for you. Come on in, there's not room for anybody else. Come on in, thanks a lot." We were sitting down to eat, just about to begin. Another knock on the door said, "Could I come in?" Opened up the door. What did I see? It was a great big lion that was looking at me. I said, "Whoa, no, what you gonna do? You got enough for one, you got enough for two. You got enough for me, yes, that's true. If I got enough for me, I guess I got enough for you."
Time to eat. I'm out.